Just last week in my clinic, a pet owner sat in front of me near tears. She said, "Dr. Tony, I had my boss over for dinner and my dog dragged his bare bottom across my white rug right in front of everyone. The smell hit the room like rotting fish, and I wanted the floor to swallow me whole." She was spending $200 a month on routine vet visits just to squeeze his glands. And I told her the exact same thing I'm going to tell you today. You are treating the wrong end of the dog. What if I told you that your dog dragging their butt across your carpet isn't just a quirky behavioral problem? It is actually a massive red flag pointing directly to their gut health. More importantly, what if I told you that constantly paying a vet to manually squeeze those glands is actually making the problem significantly worse? If you saw the title of this video, you saw the promise. Today, I am going to teach you how to stop paying the vet to squeeze your dog's glands. I'm going to share 3 brilliant natural kitchen hacks that will bulk up their system, heal their digestive tract, and naturally empty those glands for the rest of their life. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. In my clinic, anal gland expressions are one of the most common daily procedures we perform. Pet parents hate paying for it, the vet staff hates doing it, and let me tell you, your dog absolutely hates experiencing it. Today, we are doing a complete masterclass on canine biology. We are going to demystify what these smelly little sacs actually are. I will expose the soft stool crisis caused by commercial pet food, explain why manual squeezing is ruining their anatomy, and then give you my absolute favorite, fiber-rich kitchen remedies to fix this problem from the inside out. Grab a notebook, take a deep breath, and let's save your carpets and your wallet. Let's start with Chapter 1. We need to look at the anatomy. What on earth are anal glands, and why do they smell like a fish market? In veterinary medicine, we call them anal sacs. They are 2 tiny, grape-sized pouches located perfectly on either side of your dog's rectum. If you were looking at your dog's rear end like the face of a clock, these 2 sacs sit at exactly the 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock positions, hidden just beneath the skin. Inside these little sacs are glands that continuously produce an incredibly pungent, oily, dark brown or yellow liquid. Now, why did Mother Nature put foul-smelling liquid pouches on a dog's rear end? It all goes back to their wolf ancestors. This liquid is basically your dog's unique biological fingerprint. In the wild, every single time a wolf or a dog has a healthy, firm bowel movement, the solid stool physically presses against the inside walls of those tiny sacs as it exits the body. The pressure squeezes a few microscopic drops of that foul oil directly onto the poop. This is exactly why dogs obsessively sniff each other's poop on a walk. That tiny drop of anal gland fluid tells the sniffing dog exactly who left it, what they ate, and what their immune system looks like. It is canine social media. But here is the critical part of that biology. Anal glands were designed by nature to empty themselves completely naturally every single time the dog goes to the bathroom. If your dog is dragging their bottom on your carpet, it means the fluid is building up, the sacs are swelling like painful little water balloons, and the body is failing to empty them the way nature intended. Which brings us to Chapter 2, the soft stool crisis and the squeezing danger. If a dog is supposed to empty their own glands naturally, why aren't they doing it? Well, it almost always comes down to the density of their diet. Let's look at commercial, highly processed dry dog kibble. Because these foods are so heavily processed, many dogs digest them extremely rapidly. If a dog has even a minor, microscopic food intolerance, or simply a lack of dietary fiber, their daily stool becomes loose, mushy, or tiny. Think about the physics of a bowel movement. If your dog produces a soft, mushy pile of poop, that poop does not have enough physical volume or firmness to apply outward pressure as it passes through the rectal canal. The soft poop simply slides right past the anal sacs without squeezing them at all. So day after day, week after week, the glands continue to produce fluid, but nothing presses against them to empty them out. The glands swell up. They become incredibly itchy, hot, and heavy. Your dog realizes that if they sit down and drag their bottom across the coarse friction of your living room rug, they can mimic the pressure of a hard stool and manually relieve the swelling. So what do? We see them scoot and we take them to the vet. The vet technician puts on a glove, goes in, and forcefully squeezes the glands empty. The dog walks out feeling better and you pay $40. But my friends, I must give you a massive vet warning. In holistic veterinary medicine, we have realized that routinely paying someone to manually squeeze your dog's anal glands is actually creating a permanent physical dependency. When a human hand artificially squeezes those delicate little sacs every single month, it causes microscopic trauma and inflammation to the tissue. Over time, that inflammation turns into scar tissue. That scar tissue narrows the tiny ducts where the fluid is supposed to drain. Even worse, the muscles surrounding the glands become lazy because they never have to do the work themselves. If you just keep squeezing them artificially, you are permanently damaging the anatomy, guaranteeing that your dog will never, ever be able to empty them naturally again. We must break the cycle. We need to stop the artificial squeezing, and we need to fix the stool. We have to create poop that is firm enough, wide enough, and heavy enough to act as a natural rolling pin against those glands. How do we do it? Welcome to Chapter 3, Natural Hack Number 1, the Kitchen Fiber Sponge. To create the perfect, firm, gland-squeezing stool, we do not need expensive prescription diets. We need to go straight into your pantry and harness the incredible power of soluble and insoluble fiber. The very best thing you can add to your dog's bowl to stop them from scooting is a combination of 100% pure canned pumpkin and psyllium husk powder. Let's break these down because they are an absolute miracle duo. I've talked about 100% pure pumpkin puree in my previous videos for diarrhea. Pumpkin is exceptionally high in soluble fiber. Inside the colon, pumpkin acts exactly like a sponge. It absorbs any excess moisture sitting in the large intestine and pulls it into the stool. It creates a thick, cohesive gel that prevents the poop from becoming loose and mushy. Just a reminder, always check the can label. You only want pure pumpkin puree. Never, ever buy pumpkin pie filling, which contains toxic spices and dangerous artificial sweeteners that could be fatal to a dog. But to really press on those anal glands, we need more than just pumpkin. We need bulk. This is where you use psyllium husk powder. Psyllium husk is an incredible source of insoluble fiber. It is the exact same active ingredient found in human fiber supplements like Metamucil. But I want you to buy plain, unflavored psyllium husk powder from a health food store. No orange flavors, no added sugars. Unlike pumpkin, which absorbs water to create a gel, insoluble fiber does not break down. It adds physical bulk and structure. When you add a tiny bit of psyllium husk to your dog's food, it literally acts like a scaffolding inside the stool. It makes the stool visibly wider, denser, and firmer. When your dog goes to the bathroom, that beautifully firm, voluminous, fiber-packed stool physically presses incredibly hard against the rectal walls. The pressure perfectly rolls against both anal sacs simultaneously, fully expressing all of the foul-smelling fluid naturally every single time they go. Here is the daily no-scoot dosage. For a small dog, under 20 pounds, give them 1 teaspoon of pure pumpkin puree and start with just 1/8 of a teaspoon, 1/8 teaspoon, of psyllium husk powder mixed into their meals. For a medium dog, use a tablespoon of pumpkin and 1/4 teaspoon of psyllium husk. And for a large or giant breed, 2 to 3 tablespoons of pumpkin and 1/2 teaspoon of psyllium. Mix this beautiful fiber duo directly into their normal kibble or wet food every single morning. But wait! Fiber is like magic, but it comes with a strict physiological rule. If you add heavy fiber into a body, you must add hydration. Welcome to Chapter 4, Hack Number 2, the Hydration Matrix. If you feed your dog pumpkin and psyllium husk, but your dog doesn't drink enough water, the fiber will have the exact opposite effect. Instead of creating a beautifully firm stool, dry fiber sitting in the colon will pull all the moisture out of the intestinal wall, turning the stool into a dry, rock-hard block of cement. You will accidentally give your dog severe, painful constipation. To make the fiber work its magic, we have to sneak hydration into their meals. Because many dogs do not drink enough plain water, we are going to use my favorite trick: pure, unseasoned bone broth. Bone broth is phenomenally rich in moisture. Plus, it contains collagen, which naturally lubricates the intestinal lining, helping everything slide out smoothly. When you serve their food with the pumpkin and psyllium husk, I want you to take 1/4 cup of warm, dog-safe bone broth and pour it completely over their meal. Let the dry kibble and the fiber powders completely soak up that golden, hydrating liquid before you serve it to them. The fiber absorbs the broth, creating the ultimate, perfect, smooth but firm stool texture. And again, never use commercial human broth from the soup aisle. It is full of toxic onions and garlic. Buy a pet-specific broth, or better yet, easily boil some plain, unseasoned chicken bones in water in your slow cooker at home. All right, my friends, we have added the fiber scaffolding. We have heavily hydrated the gut so the poop passes perfectly. But we are not done. What if your dog's anal glands are already highly irritated from months of scooting and chronic inflammation? Even the most perfect stool won't express a gland if the tiny exit duct is swollen shut. Welcome to Chapter 5, Hack Number 3, Rebuilding the Microbiome. We must reduce the full-body systemic inflammation. The root cause of almost all glandular inflammation traces straight back to a poor immune system and an imbalanced gut microbiome. Your dog's anal glands are physically attached to the end of the digestive tract. If their gut flora is full of bad bacteria from a poor diet, the walls of the rectum and the delicate ducts of the anal sacs remain constantly swollen. If the duct is swollen shut, the fluid is trapped inside, no matter how much fiber you feed. We have to calm the inflammation from the inside out by sending in an army of good bacteria to conquer the gut. We need aggressive, high-quality probiotics. For this, I recommend taking an amazing kitchen staple, plain unsweetened milk kefir. Kefir is a fermented milk drink containing up to 30 powerful strains of live, beneficial bacteria and yeast. When you add a spoonful of kefir to their dinner alongside their fiber and bone broth, you are coating their entire digestive tract with living, anti-inflammatory bacteria. This good bacteria naturally cools down the inflammation in the colon. As the inflammation drops, the swelling around the anal gland ducts shrinks. The tiny tubes open up wide. Suddenly, the glands are fully unblocked and ready to be squeezed completely empty by that beautiful, fiber-rich stool we just built. And remember our ultimate golden rule from past videos. Check the kefir or plain yogurt label twice. Ensure there is absolutely zero xylitol or birch sugar in the ingredients. We only want pure, plain, unsweetened fermentation. Now, those 3 internal hacks will heal the gut and fix the stool over the next few days. But what if your dog is scooting right now and their bottom is red, raw, and itchy today? How do we soothe the outside immediately? If you search online, bloggers will tell you to soak your dog's rear end in a warm Epsom salt bath. As a veterinarian, I am begging you, never use Epsom salt on a dog. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. Whenever a dog feels heat or moisture on their body, their primal instinct is to turn around and lick it. If your dog licks Epsom salt off their fur, they are ingesting high doses of magnesium, causing violent gastrointestinal distress, explosive diarrhea, and even magnesium toxicity. Instead, use a 100% safe, edible kitchen compress, warm chamomile tea. Steep a plain chamomile tea bag in hot water. Let it cool until comfortably warm to the touch, and soak a clean washcloth in it. Gently hold that warm, damp cloth against your dog's rear end for 5 to 10 minutes. The gentle heat softens the thick, impacted oil inside the glands, so it passes easier, while the natural chamomile calms the raw, itchy skin. And best of all, if they lick it off, chamomile tea is totally safe and actually calms their stomach. All right, we have now covered the 3 internal hacks and our safe, soothing compress. But as your online veterinarian, I have a massive ethical responsibility to you and your dog. You must know when the natural hacks aren't enough. You must know when dragging their butt is actually a horrific, painful, time-sensitive emergency. Welcome to Chapter 6, the Go Now Zone. If you see any of these following 3 signs, I want you to stop all the home remedies, pick up your phone, and call your local veterinary clinic for a real, in-person exam immediately. Red flag number 1, the hard swelling. I want you to gently lift your dog's tail and visually look at their bottom. Do not squeeze, just look. If you see a highly noticeable, asymmetrical, hard, dark red or purple lump protruding outward on one side of their rectum, they are beyond a home cure. This means the anal sac is completely impacted. The fluid inside has thickened from an oil into a thick, dry, clay-like paste. No amount of dietary fiber is going to push that dry clay out of the tiny duct. If left untreated, an impacted gland is agonizingly painful for the dog, and they need a vet to safely extract it before it bursts. Red flag number 2, dripping blood or pus. If you look at the carpet where they just scooted and you see streaks of bright red blood or yellow foul-smelling pus, or if you look at their bottom and see an open, oozing wound directly next to the rectum, this is the ultimate anal gland nightmare. This is called an anal gland abscess and rupture. When the duct gets blocked and bacteria overgrows inside the sac, it creates an infected pocket of pus. The pressure builds and builds, and because the fluid can't escape through the duct, it quite literally explodes like a bomb outward through the dog's skin. It blows a painful, bloody hole right in their rear end. Pay close attention to the smell here. We all know the normal fishy anal gland scent, but if you suddenly smell a distinct, metallic, copper-like scent of blood mixed with rotting infection, it is no longer just a full gland. That sac has ruptured. If a gland ruptures, it is an absolute surgical emergency. The pain is astronomical, and the risk of severe systemic infection is incredibly high. They will need immediate medical flushing, strong prescription antibiotics, and severe pain management. Never try to heal an open, ruptured gland with home remedies. Red flag number 3, extreme pain responses. If your dog suddenly refuses to sit down entirely, cries out in pain when trying to poop, violently spins around and bites at their own tail, or refuses to let you lift their tail at all, you must see a vet. Dogs mask their pain beautifully. By the time a dog is vocally crying out, they are suffering immensely. If any of these red flags are present, skip the kitchen and get them professional help. Wow, we did it. We tackled arguably the grossest, most embarrassing, and smelliest problem in pet ownership, and you are a champion for sitting through it. Dealing with dog health issues isn't just about paying bills. It requires you to clean up smelly messes, research biology, and advocate for an animal who has absolutely no voice. But by taking 20 minutes out of your day to sit here, take notes, and deeply understand the digestive anatomy of the dog you love so much, you are proving exactly how devoted you are. When you understand the science, you aren't just reacting to their problems anymore. You are preventing them entirely. So if this masterclass helped ease your mind today, and if you are ready to finally throw away the carpet cleaner and try the psyllium husk trick, please do me a massive favor and hit that like button, and make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss out on our deep dives into your pet's health. Have fun mixing up that high-fiber bowl tomorrow. Trust the science, stay confident, and I will see you all in the very next video.